Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about abstraction in Java. Basically, we're going to create an interface and have it implemented with different classes. The main purpose of this abstraction is so that you can just get the blueprint from somewhere and then implement it your own way. You might have heard that like there'll be just the application, right? As the application gets in, you get the login user ID password, you log into the application, but based on your credentials, the validation happens behind the scene, right? So based on who you are, when it identifies, it will direct you to that kind of page. So that is in kind of real scenarios, right? So we're going to just do kind of similar demos so that you have idea about why do we need abstractions in the multiple cases. If you see here, I have just empty package here. I'm going to create a class called login, basically interface called login. Okay. So login is just the interface. So it's going to have definitely abstract method, which means you don't write any body. Basically you have what do you say it? Something like right, like that. So this would basically just says login as a user, and it's an abstract method. That means I do not have the body, which means I don't have a curly braces. I just said I just want to log in. Right now it doesn't know who is logging in, right? That's all it is. So we're going to create different classes called admin. So here we're going to say admin user, right? Admin user login. So basically admin user login does, so one another purpose of the abstraction is you don't want to rewrite the whole thing, right? You want to share that components. Pretty much admin user is just going to perform the same login that any other user would, right? So guest user login, admin user login, they both are going to do the same thing. So here, if you come back to this interface, they're just going to provide the username and a password. They're not going to do anything special. But based on who you are, the internal validation happens, and that is the one which triggers where to go, right? So in that case, we want to use this common method in both places, right? So that's why we need interface. So rather than making this method duplicate in both places, I make that as a abstract method. So I just apply that both places. So in that case, I'm going to use that interface being implemented by both classes. Right? So obviously it's going to ask for, okay, then you want to override that on unimplemented methods, right? Same thing we want to do here too. And it's going to do the same thing, right? So here unimplemented methods. So obviously it's going to say some to-do code. So we want to write here some to-do methods. So let's say just this out for now. Let's say right. So basically you just said you have successfully logged in as a user. You don't need that. So let's go back here. Do the same thing here. You don't need that override here. Okay. So in this case, it's an admin user. I'll just say admin. Okay. So now if we see here, we have implemented differently. One is the admin page, right? So obviously if you go into any application and you log in as an admin, you're going to have additional settings and configurations and all this sort of different lookup, right? The UI will have a different different additional features available for the admins, obviously, than the guest. So we're just assuming you are in that stage, that page right now. So let's use some different class, so that which calls based on that it is going to give you the message, right? So let's create a new method, new class called where the service is being called, right? So this is just said login demo class. Okay, so this class is going to actually call those methods, right? So let's say that that validation happened based on your user ID or password, right? So here we're just going to execute them. So public static. So here, now if I want to use that login service, obviously I cannot call the interface directly, right? Otherwise I have to do that same thing. I have to implement it. I have to override. So let's forget about that for now. So let's go back to admin. So if I, in this page, if I'm calling as an admin, then obviously it's going to give me the admin. So for that, I have to call, right? Now login dot. So here I need to pass the user IDs, right? So user ID could be right. So now if I execute this, obviously it's going to give me that admin page message, right? So let's see. So you are logged in as an admin. But if I instead using this guest user login, then it is going to give me the guest user login method. So I can just trigger the same thing. So now you see you are logged in as a guest. Pretty much what this method is does, there's just single method. The login feature does not change. User ID, password. Anybody who gets into the application, they're going to have a login section, password section. They're going to hit the submit button same way. So if we see that case, we don't want to do that redundant, right? We don't want to write this method again and again. So what we do, we just create these type of steps as an abstract inside the interface. Make the interface, use them based on who is going to log in. They're going to use their own way. They're going to provide their user ID, passwords. Whoever triggers it on, that's how we can deal with this abstract. So this is a very quick demo for the interfaces, which is 100% abstract. And I hope this video is going to help you to get more clarification on interface and how we use it. So please try more of your do your more practice, and give me comments if you have any questions on this. Thank you for watching.